Kerala versus Sri Lanka. Which South Asia destination should you guys visit in 2025 or even in 2026? In this video, we're going to compare the food, culture, transport, and some of the beautiful sites that you can visit in both of these places. And just to give you guys a quick introduction on myself, my name is Yad and I'm originally from the UK, and I've traveled both of these beautiful destinations a couple of times over the last few years, and I really love both of them. And the reason I'm making this video today is because I get so many questions on my Instagram from people just generally wanting to know which place is better, Sri Lanka or Kerala, or what type of tropical destinations do I recommend them. And I think this is mainly for the people that want to know that, and also probably if you are from Kerala or if you are from Sri Lanka, you're probably quite intrigued to also know the comparisons when it comes to food, some of the beautiful places, because I know a lot of people in the comments sometimes say that they never get to experience the places that I've seen. So it's nice for me to also show some of the places and give you guys a bit of a comparison. But just to say something from the offset here, guys, I love absolutely both places, and as I say, the reason I'm making this is purely for informational purposes only. So for people that are looking to visit these amazing destinations, this is definitely going to be for you. So if you are new here, guys, please do me a big favor, because it helps so much on my videos, and it doesn't cost you guys anything just to press the subscribe button, because then what YouTube will also do is show you guys more videos like this that are relevant to you. So it also helps you guys in the algorithm. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like button as well. That helps massively. Anyway, let's jump straight into today's video. So first, today we are going to talk about food, which is the heart of both of these destinations. And we'll start off by talking about Kerala's food. So what I honestly love about Kerala that I have not experienced as much in other destinations around the world is how fresh the ingredients are. Literally, we had some of the most freshest food we've ever had in the world in Kerala when we were traveling there. We stayed at some really beautiful resorts that literally had their own farms in the resorts, in the hotels, and they were just growing their own crops. So the food was coming directly from there onto our plates. It was just really delightful, and that's something very special I like to say from the offset about Kerala. And Kerala is famous for coconut-rich curries, fresh seafood, and meals served on banana leaves. We had a very famous dish in Kerala called the sadhya, and it's basically a dish that's prepared on this huge banana leaf, and it's filled with around 15 to 20 different small little fresh ingredients, and you have to eat it with your hands. And don't think that Sri Lanka's got the same thing, but they also do serve things on banana leaves, but not like this. But this was really delicious, and it was just so fresh, you know, really fresh, and we loved it. And some other popular dishes that they have in Kerala is the appam with stew, Kerala fish curries that we had plenty of. They're basically in banana leaves, and they open it up on the plate for you. It's just something out of this world, and it's not spicy. That's another thing I have to say about Kerala food. It's not very spicy, or maybe we just didn't get given spicy curries when we were there, but honestly, genuinely speaking, it was really mild and a little hint of spice, which is just how I like it. I don't really like to have my head blown off, but some people do. And typically the flavors you'll get in Kerala curries are very aromatic, comforting, rather than super spicy. Kerala's food just feels homely. You can taste the coconut in almost every bite, and the seafood there is some of the freshest I've ever had. It's basically a cuisine that feels rich but never overpowering. That's the best way to explain Kerala food. Now, let's move on to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is known for rice and curry platters, string hoppers, kottu roti, and egg hoppers with sambols. Food in Sri Lanka is definitely much more spicy than Kerala, like super spicy. I did a food tour when I was over in Sri Lanka, and oh my god, we stopped off at this place that we had this like rice and like a big mix of different spices and chicken in there, and wow, it absolutely blew my head off. It was so spicy, but very tasty. Usually if I have something that was super spicy, I don't like it because it's not that tasty, because the spice just overpowers it. But honestly, this dish that I had on the food tour was genuinely really tasty, and I loved it. And Sri Lanka is also known for their coconut dishes. They've got something also called a fresh coconut sambal. It is a staple at nearly every meal that you have in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka takes tropical flavors and turns up the spice dial, from fiery curries to kottu roti, chopped up right on the street. Every meal here feels bold and full of energy. And the dish that I had that was very, very spicy in Sri Lanka, it was the kotu roti. And oh my god, that thing right there is a bomb, honestly. And I also had the string hoppers. Now, one thing I do have to say, the hoppers I had in Sri Lanka were nicer than Kerala. I know in Kerala they call them something different and they're cooked slightly different. I think a bit more yeasty in the Kerala side. But I had this really sweet one in Sri Lanka, and it was a coconut filled inside. Oh my god, if anybody ever gets to Sri Lanka, please run to the hopper place and ask for a sweet hopper with the coconut inside. Probably one of my top, I would say probably top 3, top 5 desserts in the world. It was just incredible, super simple. It's just basically a hopper filled with coconut inside, and so tasty. Number 2, we are going to touch on natural beauty. And let me just start off by saying both of these destinations have incredible natural beauty. And I know Kerala is not a country, it's a state, but it's a massive state. And obviously Sri Lanka is a country. So comparing a country to a state, I do get that some people are going to be like, how it's not really comparable. The reason I'm comparing it is because they're both very similar when it comes to a travel destination, and Kerala has so many different aspects in one, just like how Sri Lanka has in a country. So of course Sri Lanka as a country will have more natural beauty and more food choices and more things to do. However, I feel like Kerala can still compete because it has the natural beauty, it has the food, it has the culture, it has literally everything in that state. So remember, India is a very, very big country, guys. So Kerala is a state of 40 million plus people. So it's a very, very big place. So that's why I'm comparing this. And they're both really, really nice tropical destinations for travelers. So let's touch on the natural beauty. So when it comes to Kerala, we'll start off with them first. Kerala is home to famous backwaters of Alleppey and Kumarakom. They're basically calm waterways lined with palm trees and houseboats. And they're really, really nice because you can take a houseboat in Kerala. You can even stay on one overnight. We did one when I went a couple of years ago with my friend Ole, and we stayed on one for like 4 or 5 hours. We had a really, really nice time just exploring the backwaters on the boat. You can do sunset cruises, you can do fishing on there. It really is a magical experience. And the next thing when it comes to natural beauty in Kerala is the Munnar tea plantations. Honestly, Munnar is one of the most beautiful places I've been. It's basically an area in Kerala where it has all these lush tea plantations, and you could even go visit the tea factories, again very similar to Sri Lanka, which I'll touch on in just a moment. And one thing I love about Munnar, because Kerala gets so hot, when you go to Munnar it typically is a little bit cooler because it's in the mountainous regions, but lovely place. And when it comes to beaches in Kerala, you've got places like Varkala Beach and Kovalam, and they're both perfect places for sunsets and relaxing. And also, guys, Kerala has some of the most beautiful waterfalls I have ever seen. And when I went with my friend Oli a few years ago, it's very close to Munnar as we were driving up there. Very stunning waterfalls just falling down. And apparently the best time to see these waterfalls is during the monsoon season because there's so much water rushing. But when we went, it wasn't even monsoon season. It was very dry, very hot, but still there was so much water flowing. Really stunning and beautiful views. But I will be honest here, Sri Lanka definitely has some of the best beaches I've seen in the world, which I'm going to touch on in just a moment. So that's where obviously, you know, there's going to be some things here where Sri Lanka definitely does trump it. And Kerala feels like it was designed more for slow travel. You can spend a morning floating on the backwaters, then head into the hills for some fresh air and endless tea fields. So now let's touch on Sri Lanka. So as a country, Sri Lanka is very compact but full of variety. It's golden beaches, mountain ranges, waterfalls and wildlife parks. And Sri Lanka has got some of the most beautiful hill stations that I've ever seen in the world. It's got a place called Ella, and probably most people in the world have heard of it because you take that famous scenic train all across, which I did, and I honestly loved. The only thing I would say, when I went, it was pouring down with rain, so very misty, didn't get to see too much of the views, but I still loved it. It was still beautiful because it gave it that mystical feel when it was raining. Very beautiful because the train takes you through these tea plantations and it's just very mesmerizing the whole way. It's like very surreal. And then the other place that they have is called Nuwari Elia. It's basically, it used to be an old British town where it's now being transformed into this beautiful, beautiful town where you can go and have tea there. You can stay the night. It's a really, really stunning, cute little place that has a lot of British colonial vibes when you're there. They've even got like a post office, which the British left over and that they're still used today. I walked in there and I literally thought I was back in the UK. And some of the popular beaches in Sri Lanka include Unawatuna, Weligama, Mirissa, Hikawadua, Benota and Arugam Bay. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one of these beaches you go to, most of them are so stunning. And Unawatuna is the one that, if you're a surf lover, they've got incredible beaches for people that love surfing. If you guys know, Sri Lanka is super famous for tea, so most of the tea that we have around the world comes from Sri Lanka's tea plantations. And just like Kerala has Munnar, Sri Lanka has their own area which I explored. It was in Nuwari Elia, and that's where you get most of the tea plantations. You can even get some in Ella as well, but I did mine in Nuwari Elia. It was such a beautiful experience. I went to a tea plantation. I tried some fresh tea there. You're able to purchase it straight from the source. You're able to see how they make everything. It really was a surreal experience. But again, very similar to Kerala. They have that similarities, but I think obviously just Sri Lanka being such a hub for tea around the world, it just felt that extra bit special being there on site, how they made it, showing us how it was all done. It was very unique. So just to summarize the nature when it comes to Sri Lanka, I would say Sri Lanka feels like a mini version of an entire continent. One day you're spotting elephants on the safari, the next you're hiking through misty mountains or lying on a tropical beach. So also guys, you're probably wondering when you are traveling to these destinations, the best way to stay connected. And I no longer use physical SIM cards for data and internet because it's just become such a headache always losing the SIM cards, and they're always very expensive. And you just spend a long time after landing in each of the countries getting a SIM card, and especially in places like India, you can't as a tourist even get a SIM card anymore. It's very complicated because when I went there last time, they were basically telling me that you need a local to get it. So it's a bit of a headache. And in Sri Lanka as well, they've put the prices up, so it's very expensive. However, now with an eSIM, you can basically have internet as soon as you land. So I basically use a company called Holofly. They're not sponsoring today's video or anything, but it's just something that I want to mention. If you guys want to get your discount with them, you can. I've got a discount code below, so if you travel into not just India or Sri Lanka, but any destination around the world, you can use this discount as many times as you want to make sure you always get a deal. What it basically is, it's super easy to set up on your phone. You just install it before you travel, get it all set up, all the instructions are there. And you can even have hotspot capabilities, so if you're traveling with friends or families, you can share the internet with them so they don't also have to spend more money on buying data. So instead of using your home data, which we know costs so much money, especially when you travel abroad, this will save you so much time, money. And one of the things I love is, let's say if you're going to Sri Lanka or India for like maybe 5 days or 1 week or 2 weeks, you can choose exactly how many days you need the data for. So it's very flexible, very easy for you guys to set up. So if you also want to get your discount with them, just check the description box and also the pinned comment. And as I said, they're not sponsoring today's video, but anytime you guys just buy a eSIM, I just get like a very small kickback, and it just basically helps support my channel and make more videos for you guys. So the next topic that we're going to cover here is culture and people. But let me just start off by saying, a spoiler, that both people in both of these places are so friendly. And you will not have, honestly for me personally, when it comes to things like safety and just speaking to locals in both of these destinations, people of Kerala are so hospitable, very friendly, kind, educated. So you'll have no issues communicating with them when it comes to just the general English language. If you're traveling there, everybody speaks English, which is great. People are just very attentive. If you need anything, they'll help you there. Same with Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan people are amongst some of the most kindest people in the world. Honestly, they're just very hospitable, just like Keralites. Lovely people. And I just think generally down South India and in tropical destinations, people are just typically very calm, relaxing, and very open to welcoming tourists. And I'll touch on a little bit about the cultures of both of these destination, so you guys have a little bit of an idea of what to expect when you go there. So when it comes to Kerala is a mix of Hindu, Christian and Muslim traditions, and it's reflected in festivals, food and their architecture. But a majority of the people that I spoke to in Kerala actually told me that Kerala was a majority Muslim population, but maybe you guys can let me know in the comments if you're from Kerala. You guys can let me know as well. And Kerala is also known for cultural performances like the Kathakali dance and the Teyyam rituals. People are warm, welcoming and proud of their state's identity. In Kerala, culture is everywhere, from colourful festivals like Onam to the stories told through traditional dance and art. And honestly, the people here are some of the friendliest I've met in India. And when it comes to Sri Lanka, they have a deep Buddhist heritage with temples like Dambala Cave Temple and the Temple of the Tooth, which is a very incredible experience. When I went there, I thought that was a very special place. They have a blend of Sinhalese and Tamil traditions visible in festivals and their food, and locals are definitely known for their hospitalities anytime you visit there. And Sri Lanka, if I have to sum it up, has a slower, more spiritual pace to its culture, with temple bells ringing, monks in bright orange robes, and a calm energy that makes you want to stay longer each time you visit. So the next topic, guys, when you are traveling to both of these destinations, you're probably going to want to know how to travel around and what's the best ways to do so. So we'll start off with Kerala. Kerala is definitely very well connected by trains, buses and domestic airports like Kochi, Trivandrum and Calicut. So when I traveled to Kerala, twice I've been there. First time I flew into Kochi, it's the main airport there. You'll get more flights going into there. Second time I flew into Trivandrum, which is the capital actually of Kerala. Less flights go there, but you can also get direct flights there from certain destinations around the world, especially like the Middle East. And when it comes to languages, English, as I mentioned earlier, is widely spoken, especially in the tourist areas. Kochi, you'll have no issues with people speaking English. Traffic can be heavy in cities, but rural areas are definitely more peaceful. And when you're getting around Kerala, it's pretty straightforward. Transport is affordable and most people speak English to help you out if you can't find your way. So just be ready maybe for a bit of traffic if you're in the bigger parts of the city, but other than that, it's not that busy. Now, when it comes to Sri Lanka and travel, roads can definitely be much more slow due to the winding routes, but scenic train rides are world famous. The ones that you can take from Kandy to Ella is definitely a must. You have to take that train, and that's the one that I mentioned earlier in this video. But if you are planning to take that train, I would make sure that you book it way in advance, because sometimes the waiting list can be months in advance. So just double check if you are planning a trip to Sri Lanka. One of the first things you do is look at booking your train ticket in advance. Now, one thing I have to say with traveling in Sri Lanka, distances are shorter than in India, like Kerala, but they just take longer because of the windy roads, and just traffic can be super heavy. Sometimes there's things like landslides, so you have to be careful about that in the more mountainous areas like Ella. When I was in Ella previously, luckily I just missed a landslide by 1 day, because if I had gone 1 day later, I would have got stuck on the roads because there was a massive landslide because of extreme rain. I wouldn't recommend buses in Sri Lanka, to be honest, and that's one thing I can definitely say with confidence, because I've just seen how the bus drivers drive out there, and I'm actually really disappointed with that, because I love Sri Lanka as a country. I wish there was a little bit more done with regards to road safety regulations for the buses. They just drive so fast, so dangerously, and I just think it's not nice. I mean, it's very dangerous for kids on the road, for just people walking. Anytime you see a bus in Sri Lanka, stay far away from them, because they're just driving like maniacs. So yeah, I just hope things change eventually in Sri Lanka for the transport when it comes to buses. So traveling in Sri Lanka takes time, but it's definitely worth it. The train rides in Sri Lanka are like a moving postcard. So just don't expect to rush from place to place. So the next topic that we're going to talk about is cost and value. So both of these destinations are definitely on the affordable side. You can do them luxury, you can do them budget, is totally up to you, or they even have the middle ground. So we'll start off with Kerala. And Kerala is definitely very budget friendly for food, local transport and homestays. You can easily spend like literally maybe like $10 a day, and you can do a lot of things. Or you can go down the luxury resort style where you can get treated literally like a king for a few days. Luxury in Kerala is not as expensive as it is in like the UK or the West. It's still very, very affordable. We stayed in some luxury resorts, we did the houseboats, and they're great value compared to similar experiences as I mentioned in the West. So Kerala can be done on any budget, from backpacker hostels to luxury hotels. Either way, you'll feel like you're getting a lot for what you spend. Now, when it comes to Sri Lanka and cost and value, I'll definitely say that Sri Lanka over the years has definitely increased, because I went there quite a few years ago, maybe like, say about 6-7 years ago, I traveled there, and it was so much cheaper than it was last year when I went. I mean, I was actually shocked at some of the prices when it came just to some basic things like traveling or just booking tours. They were quite pricey. And when I mean pricey, I mean like in the $100, like for an experience. So that's what I mean. India is definitely cheaper when it comes to those things. They're basically slightly higher prices in touristy areas for hotels and attractions. So just bear that in mind. I mean, it's not like crazy expensive, but just a little bit more expensive than India. But local food is cheap if you eat where the locals eat, and food is very, very clean in Sri Lanka as well. It is in Kerala. So if you're worrying about like hygiene when it comes to things like food, it definitely is safe to eat in these destinations. But as always, just always make sure you either read Google reviews if you're going to specific places. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously you can still get a little bit of a bug here and there if you have too much spicy food. I mean, that can still happen, but generally speaking, in both of these destinations, the food hygiene is definitely okay. I mean, I've been to Kerala twice and nothing has happened, and I've also been to Sri Lanka twice and nothing has happened. But I have been obviously in other places in India where I've got really sick, so it can happen. But yeah, I mean, typically people of Kerala and of Sri Lanka, they have good hygiene standards. So to sum up Sri Lanka, it's basically, it can be a bit pricier in the hot spots, but if you step away from the main tourist streets, you'll find amazing food and stays that don't break the bank. So now guys, it's time to conclude this. Which place is definitely best to visit? So for me, Kerala is all about slow, peaceful travel, floating on the backwaters, drinking chai on the hills. Sri Lanka feels like an adventure, beaches, mountains, safaris, all packed into one island. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either. But I'm curious, which one would you guys choose after hearing about some of the experiences and things that you've seen in this video? So for me personally, if I want more of an adventure, like hiking, mountainous and those type of things, I would choose Sri Lanka. And obviously beaches, I'll choose Sri Lanka. But if I want just kind of a super simple, laid back, a very, very relaxed vibe, I would go with Kerala. So I can't say one is better than the other. For me, it ties, because I love also relaxing and I also love the adventure. So for me, it just depends. If like I really fancy a little bit of beach and some adventure, then I'll definitely choose Sri Lanka because it wins on those aspects. But when it comes to just more relaxing and just taking a serious break, I would definitely choose Kerala. So as I say guys, it totally depends on your preference. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you guys also want to watch the series that I have filmed, you can watch them here as well. Just at the end of this video, you'll be able to click on them, one this side and one over here. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video guys, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and also comment in the comment section below what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure here on the channel. Peace out and good night.